When history speaks of resilience, it often speaks of men and women who refuse to surrender. But there is another layer to this legacy. Timber that endured centuries because the craftsmen who shaped it refused to settle for anything less than perfection. Fortifications, longhouses, bridges, and siege engines were not just functional. They were built to last, even under harsh climates, relentless warfare, and unforgiving conditions. The secret was careful preservation, knowledge passed from master to apprentice, and a deep respect for the wood itself. From Viking strongholds to medieval castles, the methods used to protect and season timber allowed structures to endure long after their builders were gone. Today, we explore the legacy of preserved wood, the methods that made it possible, and how modern enthusiasts can apply these lessons for historical reconstruction, survival skills, or durable construction. Why preservation was as important as strength in historical construction. Timber is strong, but untreated wood is fragile against the elements. Builders of old understood that moisture, insects, and fungal decay were enemies just as dangerous as an invading army. They learned to season, treat, and protect their wood with the same discipline they applied to their defensive tactics. Logs destined for fortifications were often selected carefully, choosing dense, straight-grained varieties capable of withstanding both weight and exposure. Once harvested, these timbers were air-dried, stored off the ground, and shielded from rain. Even small miscalculations in drying could lead to warping, cracking, or premature decay, so patience and attention were critical. Modern applications echo this approach, selecting the right species, drying them properly, and protecting them from moisture from the outset ensures wood performs predictably under stress. How heat and smoke strengthened wood without chemicals. Beyond air drying, craftsmen discovered that controlled heat and smoke could transform timber, increasing its durability. Gentle warmth from a hearth or enclosed drying shed gradually removed residual moisture while minimizing surface cracking. Smoke added another layer of protection, depositing phenolic compounds and acids that deterred insects and fungi. Historical examples abound. Japanese shrines, Nordic longhouses, and medieval palisades all show evidence of smoke-treated timber that survived centuries. For practical modern use, a simple smoke chamber or low-heat setup can mimic these effects. Place timber over a controlled ember bed, rotate regularly, and monitor carefully to avoid charring. The result is wood that resists environmental stress, maintains integrity under load, and lasts far longer than untreated equivalents. Why attention to joinery and design complemented preservation? Preservation was never just about treatment. It worked hand in hand with intelligent design. Mortise and tenon joints, interlocking beams, raised foundations, and angled cuts minimized water accumulation and allowed airflow. Timber positioned to avoid direct contact with wet soil retained its strength far longer. In castles and fortifications, these design choices extended the functional life of the wood, ensuring that even during sieges, the structural integrity remained reliable. Applying this principle today means combining preservation techniques with design that allows ventilation, drainage, and stress distribution. This approach produces durable structures regardless of environment or exposure. How patience and process were more powerful than speed. Time was the master carpenter's greatest tool. Rushing timber into service before it was fully seasoned or treated could compromise a structure for decades. Builders recognized that slow, deliberate preparation, air drying, gentle heat, and smoke exposure produced beams and posts that would bear weight, resist moisture, and endure environmental extremes. Even in wartime, partially seasoned timber was prioritized over fresh logs because its predictability under stress was unmatched. Modern enthusiasts can honor this approach by allowing adequate seasoning and treatment time for all timber, whether for historical reconstruction, survival shelters, or off-grid buildings. Why historical preservation methods still matter today. Modern chemical treatments and kilns offer convenience, but they often fail to replicate the longevity achieved by centuries of empirical observation. Historical methods relied on understanding wood behavior, environmental conditions, and careful, patient craftsmanship. How to apply these lessons in practical projects today? To replicate historical preservation, start with careful selection. Choose straight-grained, dense timber free of knots. Air dry it under cover, with spacers to allow airflow and occasional rotation. Introduce gentle heat or smoke gradually, monitoring the timber closely for cracks or scorching. Combine these treatments with smart design, raise timber off damp ground, allow ventilation, and avoid water accumulation. Even small-scale projects like tool handles, planks, or furniture benefit from these techniques, producing wood that performs reliably for decades. The legacy of preserved timber is not just historical, it is practical. The story of timber that endured is inseparable from the story of the men who built with honor, patience, and skill. By combining careful selection, air drying, heat and smoke treatment, and thoughtful design, modern builders and enthusiasts can create wood that embodies the same resilience and longevity that defined historical fortifications, longhouses, and bridges. If you value historical insight, practical skill, and the wisdom of builders who refuse to yield, make sure to subscribe to Echoes of Valor. Share this knowledge with fellow enthusiasts, and keep the legacy of preserved timber alive for generations to come.